Hello. This is experiment 710, pressure control, and this is going to be a calibration of the pressure transducer. So in your control system, you have a input measurement sensor that's measuring your process value, and then you have a controller and a final control element. So on this part of the experiment, we're looking at characterizing the input sensor. So we're going to calibrate it and check the calibration specifications to what the manufacturer says they should be, and see how good it really is. So what we have is, this is the actual transducer here. There's another one here that you'll also calibrate. And so basically, there's two parts to it. It has a excitation power supply and an output signal. And that's what the blue and the red connectors are for. And as you can see, when you change from one to the other, you just have to unplug the connectors and plug in the new ones. And I have them set up so that you can't get them mixed up, so that's good. And this is a test gauge. This is a really accurate mechanical board-on gauge that is used for calibrating pressure transducers. And so why is this part so important? Well, if you're having a problem with the control system, you need to check all the components of the control system to see which part may be the problem. So if the measurement sensor is not functioning properly, then the signal going to the controller is not going to be correct, and then the signal from the controller to the final control element is not going to be correct, and that could be your problem. Or the problem could be your final control element, or it may be your controller itself. So you have to investigate all the parts of it. So here we're going to look at the input sensor. And so what we're going to do is we're going to apply a pressure, and then we'll be able to read the output from the transducer. And we also have a meter that does two things for us. One thing is it provides an excitation power supply to our transducer. And it also gives us a display reading that should pretty well match what the gauge gives us. Now, to put pressure on this transducer, what we have to do is we have to use it kind of like a bicycle pump, a little bit fancier. Got to close the valve. There's a bleed valve here on the bottom. So once it's closed, you can pressurize it. And let's say that we're going to go to 50 psi or 55 psi. You can take this up to 100, but of course don't go over 100 in terms of safety. So let's say I wanted 55, but I'm a little bit above 55. There's another knob down here. So there's a little knob that's a bleed valve, and there's a big knob that actually changes the volume inside here. And by increasing the volume a little bit, it's going to decrease the pressure. And so I can dial it in to get right at 55. So very precise. Now, it's okay that the display meter doesn't read exactly what the pressure gauge does, but that's one of the things you're going to investigate. And you can also see that the multimeter is giving us a signal, millivolts DC. That's the output of the transducer. So you're going to test this at various levels, and you also want to look at repeatability. And then you'll switch the pressure transducer to the other one and calibrate that one as well. And to bleed out the pressure, you just unscrew this knob here in the back. And so before you switch transducers, that's what you want to do. So I'm just going to do quickly, I'm going to show you how to change over one transducer to the other. You can disconnect the power supply and the signal. Take this off, click disconnect. Plug that in. Blue, red. That's it. And if you need to, the tare, you can adjust the tare on here. So make sure this is zeroed out, and you press the tare button, and then you're ready to go. So this is 710, the pressure transducer calibration station.